Which side of the brain is the artsy side? Right? Okay. Right and left. It's one of the two. I started out this week. I thought it was a decent homily, but it was mostly a left brain homily, discursive, as most of homilies are, of course. And then I got thinking, I thought, you know what? I'll put a little right brain in it, and I did last night. And then this morning, as I was praying about it, I thought, I'm going to go all right brain, I think, today. I changed my homily again. There is a message in both of the things I want to do for you. But I'll let the pieces themselves maybe bring out the message or something. And certainly in the first thing I will, because he does it himself at the end. But I love this poem and I am going to be a little longer today. Hope that's all right. But the thing is, we're coming to the end of the Christmas season, and for some people, of course, Christmas is over, but even some Christians and Catholics, this week we're going to get back to our regular pursuits. School's going to be back in, work, etc. Anyway, this is a poem by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. It's I love this poem about Epiphany. It's just called The Three Kings. Three kings came riding from far away, Melchior and Gaspar and Balthazar. Three wise men out of the east were they, and they traveled by night and they slept by day, for their guide was a beautiful, wonderful star. The star was so beautiful, large and clear, that all the other stars of the sky became a white mist in the atmosphere. And by this they knew that the coming was near of the prince foretold in the prophecy. 3 caskets they bore on their saddle bows, 3 caskets of gold with golden keys. Their robes were of crimson silk, with rows of bells and pomegranates and furbelows, their turbans like blossoming almond trees. And so the 3 kings rode into the west through the dusk of the night, over hill and dell. Sometimes they nodded with beard on breast, and sometimes talked as they paused to rest with the people they met at some wayside well. "The child that is born," said Balthazar, "good people, I pray you, tell us the news. For we in the east had seen his star, and have ridden fast and have ridden far to find and worship the King of the Jews." And the people answered, "You ask in vain. We know of no king but Herod the Great." They thought the wise men were men insane as they spurred their horses across the plain like riders in haste who cannot wait. And when they came to Jerusalem, Herod the Great, who had heard this thing, sent for the wise men and questioned them and said, "Go down unto Bethlehem and bring me tidings of this new king." So they rode away, and the star stood still, the only one in the gray of morn. Yes, it stopped. It stood still of its own free will, right over Bethlehem on the hill, the city of David, where Christ was born. And the 3 kings rode through the gate and the guard, through the silent street, till their horses turned and neighed as they entered the great inn yard. But the windows were closed and the doors were barred, and only a light in the stable burned. And cradled there in the scented hay, in the air made sweet by the breath of kine, the little child in the manger lay, the child that would be king one day of a kingdom not human, but divine. His mother Mary of Nazareth sat watching beside his place of rest, watching the even flow of his breath. For the joy of life and the terror of death were mingled together in her breast. They laid their offerings at his feet. The gold was their tribute to a king. The frankincense, with its odor sweet, was for the priest, the paraclete, the myrrh for the body's burying. And the mother wondered and bowed her head and sat as still as a statue of stone. Her heart was troubled, yet comforted, remembering what the angel had said of an endless reign and of David's throne. Then the kings rode out of the city gate with a clatter of hoofs in proud array, but they went not back to Herod the Great, for they knew his malice and feared his hate, and returned to their homes by another way. Ring in the common love of good. Ring out old shapes of foul disease. Ring out the narrowing lust of gold. Ring out the 1,000 wars of old. Ring in the 1,000 years of peace. Ring in the valiant man and free, the larger heart, the kindlier hand. Ring out the darkness of the land. Ring in the Christ that is to be. The second thing I'll offer you, 2 days ago I was driving around, as I do pretty much during the Christmas season, just in the early morning looking at Christmas lights, and I had the radio on, listening to Sacred Heart Radio. By the way, if you don't listen to it, I do invite you, a little commercial here. You know, I know it sounds self-serving because I'm president of the board, but I don't like it because I'm president. I'm president because I liked that radio station and wanted to. There's some good things on there. Please take a look at them. Listen. Anyway, I'm driving around listening to, Anna Mitchell comes on. She says, and today it's a best of our Christmas stuff, things we like, blah, blah, blah. We've got Father John Gavin and somebody or other talk about this. And she says, and we have Father Stef Bankemper, president of the board and pastor of St. Catherine of Siena. He's in the studio today to talk about whatever, And I thought, wow, I really can bilocate. But it was something a few years ago. I think I did actually sing this once. As I was driving around, as I usually do, thinking, how can I, wagging your finger at people just doesn't work. But I thought, and I'm always thinking, how can I entice people to celebrate Advent and celebrate the whole Christmas season? How can I encourage them, So I got thinking about the gifts of Christmas and all the gifts of the Christmas season, all these feast days that fall. And they're not by accident. The day after we celebrate Jesus' birth, we celebrate the death of the first martyr. That the church put that there purposely, not because he died that day, as we do with most saints, The next day, the disciple whom Jesus loved, John, that's put there purposely. The day after that, the holy innocents, the children Herod had killed, etc. And it goes on and on. Bishop Becket, Thomas Becket, and etc. And I got thinking about the 12 days after Christmas and that tune, And so I wrote a little thing about the gifts of the season, the Christmas season that God gives us through the church. The first day of Christmas, the Christ child gave to me Martyr Stephen to pray for me. On the second day of Christmas, the Christ child gave to me the apostle whom he loved, and Martyr Stephen to pray for me. On the third day of Christmas, the Christ child gave to me holy innocent martyrs, the apostle Jesus loved, and Martyr Stephen to pray for me. On the fourth day of Christmas, the Christ child gave to me Bishop Thomas Becket, holy innocent martyrs, the apostle whom he loved, and Martyr Stephen to pray for me. On the fifth day of Christmas, the Christ child gave to me the Holy Family. Bishop Thomas Becket, holy innocents, the apostle whom he loved, and martyr Stephen to pray for me. On the 6th day of Christmas, the Christ child gave to me the first pope named Sylvester, the Holy Family. Bishop Thomas Becket, Holy Innocents, the apostle whom he loved, and martyr Stephen to pray for me. On the 7th day of Christmas, the Christ child gave to me Mary, Mother of God, the first pope named Sylvester, the Holy Family. Bishop Thomas Becket, Holy Innocents, the apostle whom he loved, and martyr Stephen to pray for me. On the 8th day of Christmas, the Christ child gave to me Gregory and Basil, Mary, the Mother of God, the first pope named Sylvester, the Holy Family. Bishop Thomas Becket, Holy Innocents, the apostle whom he loved, and martyr Stephen to pray for me. On the 9th day of Christmas, the Christ child gave to me Genevieve the Virgin, Gregory and Basil, Mary the Mother of God, the first pope named Sylvester, the Holy Family. Bishop Thomas Becket, Holy Innocents, the apostle whom he loved, and martyr Stephen to pray for me. On the 10th day of Christmas, the Christ child gave to me Elizabeth Ann Seton, Genevieve the Virgin, Gregory and Basil, Mary the Mother of God, the first pope named Sylvester, the Holy Family. Bishop Thomas Becket, Holy Innocents, the apostle whom he loved, and martyr Stephen to pray for me. On the 11th day of Christmas, the Christ child gave to me Bishop John Neumann, Elizabeth Ann Seton, Genevieve the Virgin, Gregory and Basil, Mary the Mother of God, the first pope named Sylvester, the Holy Family. Bishop Thomas Becket, Holy Innocents, the apostle whom he loved, and martyr Stephen to pray for me. On the 12th day of Christmas, the Christ child gave to me Magi from the East, Bishop John Neumann, Elizabeth Ann Seton, Genevieve the Virgin, Gregory and Basil, Mary, Mother of God, the first pope named Sylvester, the Holy Family. Bishop Thomas Becket, Holy Innocents, the apostle whom he loved, and martyr Stephen to pray for me. I was thinking, those are gifts, right, that the church gives to us, or God gives to the church through the Christmas season. But it occurs to me also that I think we don't do enough. I don't do it enough. But each of us has received personal gifts and blessings through the Christmas season. And I was thinking it might be certainly a nice family thing to do if we do get the 400 inches of snow that will be in our houses. What about today over the meal after Mass, or tonight's meal, whatever, that you talk about the blessings that you've received through the season, And it's one of the things you parents can really do, instill in your children the idea of noticing the blessings. Sometimes we get blessings and we don't even really notice them, don't pay attention. Other times we notice, but we don't really stop to say thank you, So I was thinking you could even make it a little litany that you go around the table as many times as you have to, as many times as you want to, Somebody will say, we got to see Grandma and Grandpa so-and-so this year. We haven't for a couple years. And then everyone can say, thank you, Jesus. Nobody was sick this year. Remember, we were all sick last year. Nobody was sick. Thank you, Jesus, everybody says. So that just a suggestion that you go through today, or this week maybe, whatever. But that we think also about the personal blessings that have come to us through the season, and we remember to thank Jesus for them. I am personally grateful for celebrating another Christmas season with you all, and thankful for all of you. Like any relationship, some have their ups and downs. I know I haven't made you guys happy all the time. You haven't always made me happy, but I am grateful. I am grateful for you, and I love you very much, and I consider you to be one of the blessings of the season.